What everybody is missing is the spectrum of observation. They don't understand this. This is right off of IMT. So basically what we're saying, if you look at the spectrum of observation, and you have it on your cheat sheets, the left-hand side is the visionary. The right-hand side are the people who are, quote, non-observant, or the opposite of the visionary. So the visionary tries to keep it what? Simple. The visionary tries to look ahead to see what's going to happen. It makes them different. The visionary tries to not think as much because now they understand that the people who think about what's going to happen are not the experts. So they minimize their thinking. They minimize their decision making. They try to utilize expertise. And all the other characteristics, right? They're just looking for differences. Yeah, if they see that this one on the left hand is really good, and this one on the right hand is not so good, they'll go, hey, not so good. Yeah, 5 out of 6 times, the not so good turned out to be not so good. We're not going to do that anymore. They can actually tell the difference because they can count, they can see. They're simple. But the people on the other side, these are the people who look at it and it's complex. The first thing they do is they go get more people. Why? Because it's complex. We need more people working on this project. And the only reason it's complex is they can't see. Dr. Jacob and I were talking about the rabbit hole. People start going down the rabbit hole. Then they see, oops, one rabbit hole turned into 10 rabbit holes, 10 channels, 10 decisions we can go. And then we go further down and the 10 turn into 100. Oh my goodness, we're lost. How do we turn around? How do we get back? No, they see it as complex. Once people see things as complex, if they're on the right-hand side here, they try to drive information to themselves. They try to maximize their thinking. Now they have to make decisions. Now it's going bad. Now they have to put more control on this. And the whole thing happened because they can't tell the difference. Everyone must realize by observation that the masses or the more people are on the right-hand side. If you can't figure this out by observation, look at the picture. Look which picture has more people by it. That's why we did that. Now, if more people are on the right-hand side, which they are, if somebody wants to increase the size of the project, who are they going to hire? Who is there? Oh, they come from the right side. So this chart answers the question of where do we get the people to work where we need more people? It's actually a humanistic problem. It's not a technical problem. The people who come to work are from the right-hand side. Last year and the year before, we had a presentation slide, and I think it's in the one previously that the folks who were with me yesterday will get a copy of. No, maybe everybody will get a copy of that. Talked about Floor. What Floor was doing was they were bidding low to get the project. And then when they got the project, of course, they were hiring what type of people? Therefore, their profit margins went way down. Their costs went up. And their financials started looking really bad. And they were sued by someone on the board for Fluor and other investors. Well, you can see what happened to this thing. They were awarded $33 million for fraud. What is fraud? Fraud is just a very harsh term. It means that somebody actually stole money. But in actuality, what it was they didn't know the difference. And somebody else said they stole money. Oh my goodness. So they had to look at the whole structure and how they're doing business. Oh my goodness. This is a huge company. Are they qualified people? Of course they are. And this is from the Perini company. Right. And what are they saying here? They're not going to cut their margins. Cutting margins means lower their price. They're not going to do this in order to acquire it. Yeah, they were bidding on a job that they didn't get. It is the Maryland Purple Line project, is the rail project that's currently ongoing. And guess what? If you went back and looked into the history of this project, Perini was on this project and they walked off the project because they had $800 million in disputed claims, and the judge approves them walking away from this project. So they had to go out and rebid it. Oh, and guess who ends up coming back? Well, it's Perini. But now, what are they going to do? Are they going to come in at the low bidding price? The answer is no. And Perini's not the only one. Large contractors who somehow the people in the higher up management bought into the idea of, let's increase the size. It'll bring us more control. We'll trust our stakeholders more. They're saying no more. What happened to the people who bought into this idea? Well, they're not even there. The irony is they probably got hired by other companies doing the same thing. Now, granite construction, heavy, horizontal infrastructure projects. And they really got smashed. They had to get rid of everybody at the top. And once again, what's really interesting in the construction industry is when they get rid of somebody, those people just go to another company. Yeah. Because they're highly experienced. And what the new CEO said is, we're done with that. Instead of entering into what we believe to be a partnering relationship, it is now clear that, especially in the context of these mega projects, the fixed price design build contract delivery model and the public-private partnership contract delivery model resulted in an untenable imbalance of risk sharing between Granite and project owners. They're not going to do this anymore. But a lot of people still say, if you go to a design build, a bigger project, if we trust and we partner, it's actually going to work better. Now, why do you get these different perceptions of the same thing? You know, Some of you know me well. And sometimes I pull things from my religion to show the obvious. And here's one. It says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few, what does few mean? Few means very few be that find it. And that's from the Bible. Now, when they're saying few, who are they talking about? The left-hand side here or the right-hand side? You just have to realize that this is what reality is. The majority of people are non-observant. And I've been around so many organizations where they bring, oh, let's go and we need more trust. This is the latest thing. Design, build, see them at risk. This is the latest thing. It's going to solve the problems. Oh my goodness. No, this is the answer. And the answer is, if you want low performance, not on time, not on budget, you have a client-centric or a traditional delivery mechanism. If you want cut costs, deliver on time, and you actually talk to experts where when you talk, they listen, but it doesn't come out the other side, because when they listen, you said it simply enough that they pick it up and go, yep, we understand. This is the best value environment. How many people can actually play in this environment? I'm not going to kid you. Not many. Few. Because it's simple. Because people do this less, because they're experts. And the people who are listening, they understand. So their responses are even less. This is where communication is minimized. This is the best value approach. I asked the question 1,000,000 times. I mean, I've gone to a location, I come back the next year, I ask the same question. Do we want expert vendors doing more work up front? Or do we want them doing more work on the tail end of our, quote, procurement system or a selection process? And they go, up front. What kind of people work with experts and want to hammer them with more work and more requirements up front? You want your process attracting experts. You want the experts to have the advantage. You want the experts to do minimal work. You don't want them doing more work, because the people who do more work are the people who are non-observant. It doesn't click. They still, no, we want more work up front. And the technical people who represent the clients, we want to be there up front because we want to make sure that everything works. Well, the thing that I've learned over 30 years of experience in dealing with this is the people who think like that, they just don't understand. They just don't. You want people coming in as late as possible. You want the people in the beginning to be the experts. You want them to come in, look at it, think about this. Okay, I can tell the difference. I know what this project is. These are the things that have to be done. We've done them before. We can see what's going to happen. We see the risk. We don't need a lot of time here. These are the people with minimal information you can look at and go, okay, we know the project. Experts come in at the beginning. Experts look at it. Experts need more education or less education? Less. And what do we want from these experts? Minimal information. Minimal information. You know, I'm not really watching the chat box here, and I see people go saying that the slides are not popping up as I'm talking about them. And I apologize for that. They should be popping up when I pop them up. So anyway, so this whole process is minimize the work up front. Minimize the amount of information, right? Why? Because the people who are not experts, it'll take them more work. That is why when you run this process, the ones who, quote, are not that expert, more bureaucratic, they want to be thinking, they want more information. That is why they're non-competitive in this type of process. Because this process is meant for experts.